All right. Welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel, as well as if you were listening to this the day after, the Strickland Podcast Network. Knicks win their seventh straight. That's right, seven of them things. Seven straight wins. We pick up a huge, absolute monstrous blowout versus the Nets, 142 to 118. I mean, just absolute offensive dominance, defensive dominance. I mean, absolutely masterful first half. But yeah, Knicks win seven straight. We are 37 and 27, 10 games above 500. We are also a game and a half behind the Cavs for fourth now, as the Cavs had lost today. Um, and yeah, we split the season series with the Nets, and if we continue winning, we don't have to worry about them. And I think we will continue winning. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think like there's so many ways to like start tonight's like post game. I mean, like that first half was absolutely insane. I mean, you could start with the passing by Randall, the threes by Grimes, the absolute like scare we got from Jalen Brunson, and then it turned into like one of the best first halves we've ever seen as a Nick. Um, with the 30 points on 12 of 14 from the field, just like absolute efficiency right now. Um, I mean, like Mitch on the glass, like there's so many ways to go with this game. I legit don't know where to start. I mean, I guess we can start with Brunson, the 39 points on 18 shots. Like that is absolutely ridiculous. 83% from the field, 83% from three, 100% from the free throw line. Just like an absolute domination of the Nets once again. I mean, he almost put up like back-to-back 40 balls on the Nets. And so much for the Nets, like they like after their trades, like everyone was like, oh, they're like gonna be such a staunch defense, and like they're gonna be like so awesome, they're gonna be like still a playoff team. And then the Knicks just absolutely like mollywopped them the last two times they played them. And like a big component is Jalen Brunson just like absolutely dominating them. They didn't have any answer for him. They tried putting Mikal Bridges, who everyone just like froths at the mouth for, and Jalen Brunson just like could not care less about who was in front of him. And yeah, so I mean, let's start with Brunson. How do you guys feel about his performance, his dominance, all that good stuff?
He top five. He just top five. That's really it. He's gonna have a 50. He's gonna. I feel like maybe not this year, but like next year, he's just gonna drop 50. Like I feel like he's come close so many times that like the idea of him dropping 50 just like it feels like inevitable. Um, Especially if he has like one game where the three is really going. Like he took like 5 threes this game and still had 39 points. Like that was how effective he was from all three levels realistically. Like this guy is
We
probably
play
one of the.
Houston, right?
Oh yeah, we play Houston.
Guys, we getting up numbers versus Houston. I'm just
Let's
saying.
go. We got Houston and we got Charlotte. Oh, you get 50.
I'm just saying the opportunity is there.
Oh, we about to inflate some numbers. It's gonna be great. Oh, it's gonna be a good stretch of the season. But like 15 of 18 as a 6'1" guard, and I say 6'1" very lightly, um, is nuts. Like to have that level of efficiency inside of 16 feet is I I can't think of the last guard to like have that level. Chris Paul, like you're talking like Chris Paul esque level of like mid range to floater range dominance. And as much as I enjoy Chris Paul, contrary to Twitter slander, Chris Paul wasn't doing this. Maybe New Orleans Chris Paul, but like Chris Paul ain't doing this. Like this is incredible performance from honestly, I would argue the best point guard in the East right now. Um, like I'm sorry, Halliburton is a good player, but like Halliburton cannot score like this. Halliburton cannot score. Nobody in the league in the
He
East can
can't
score.
dominate a game the way that
Yeah,
Like Halliburton's not close. I honestly would say the only one who's even debatable would be Garland, but I don't think Garland's in on Brunson's level either.
Yeah, Garland can't score like this. Maybe Garland has a game where he shoots threes like this, but he cannot score like this. He also doesn't get to the line like this. And Brunson didn't even get to the line, but like how good of a pull-up shooter Brunson is compared to last year is mind-boggling. Compared to the first half of this year is mind-boggling. Like as soon as he came back from that ankle injury, he just decided to become an elite pull-up shooter. He decided to become just like I don't have words to describe Jalen Brunson.
I mean, if you just look at the second half of if you just look at like his season since the calendar turn, it's like a legit All NBA case right there.
Yeah, and I don't think
like
he gets
easily.
it this year. I don't think he gets it this year, but like he's on the bubble for sure, and he should have been an All-Star, man. Like, I'm still kind of
him not being an All-Star is like it's an all-time crime by the league. I mean, the coaches getting in DeRozan over this guy is just like such a joke.
It's the biggest snub since like Steph Curry in like 2013. Like it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's the biggest one since Steph Curry. And
yeah, it's a huge snub. Like the way he's playing is just like he has a legit star level talent right now. Like you can't deny that at all.
We could go higher than star. The way he's playing,
I mean, the way he's been playing consistently. I mean, he's had a couple dud games like lately, but like other than that, he's been able to just like quickly like pick it back up. But it's been absolutely amazing to watch.
It's a parade inside my city. It's a great time.
One game back of the loss column behind the Cavs. Like
they're getting the 4th seed.
The 4th seed is very much in sight.
They're getting it.
I think it's too late to catch Philly for the 3 seed, but like we're 6 back in the loss column, and I think they're gonna have the tiebreaker, right? Like how many? Oh no, we split.
It's tied.
We split the season series.
Still, if we had more games, I would take us. Like even though I still think because of just Embiid and Harden, I still think I'm taking Philly in a playoff series over the Knicks. But like right now, in the vacuum of the regular season, with how Tibbs gets these guys to play every night, with how he has them prepared every night, I can't believe I'm the one saying that. I mean, I don't think Philly's going to have a better record than the Knicks the rest of the way. On the topic of Brunson, he was just incredible. I mean, what more can you say about 39 points on 18 shots for a guy who's not known as a 3-point shooter? 39 points on 18 shots, and he shot 4 free throws. That's stupid. That's just what he can do. I said it before the season, and I feel very vindicated for it. The Knicks had stretches the last 2 seasons where they looked like a really good offense, and they had stretches where they looked like a really bad offense. And the reason that is because aside from Randall and sometimes RJ, and I guess quickly the back half of last season, they didn't really have anyone who was like could consistently break down the defense and be relied upon. So they were kind of at the mercy of the variant. They were kind of at the mercy of the variance of shooting, and that can be very swingy. Sometimes the Knicks made a lot of threes, and sometimes they didn't, and that was basically just it. Sometimes Randall's mid-range shots went in, sometimes they didn't. Jalen Brunson is almost slump-proof. He is the most stabilizing force in the NBA because, like I just said, he's not a 3-point shooter. He gets to his spots and he shoots very high floor shots. He is Tibbs's wet dream of an offensive player. Like there is not any variance. He has one of the highest floors I've ever seen. I mean, literally our minds were blown these last 2 nights when these last 2 games when he had sort of off games. But I would be very interested to look at the shot chart of his throughout the season and try to find what his worst stretch is. Because when you're just constantly shooting at worst semi-open 10-footers, you're just not going to miss that many in a row. Even Steph Curry has, 1 for 10 3-point shooting games. and he's by far the best 3-point shooter of all time. There's just more variance. And the Knicks needed to reduce the variance if they were going to be a better team. And Jalen Brunson was the answer to that. He's been amazing. And honestly, it's a comment to what a season Julius Randle's having and how he's rebounded that we can have a discussion that Jalen Brunson hasn't even been the most valuable player on this team this year, because that's not a slight to him. He's been incredible, but so is Julius Randle.
Definitely. I mean, going down the line, I think we can also just talk about Quentin Grimes tonight. He was due. He was beyond due for a special 3-point shooting night. 22 points, 3 rebounds, 8 of 12 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. Just absolutely special. It looks like the Knicks like made a concerted effort to like really look for him and like get him the ball in his spots in the first quarter. And shout out to Julius Randle for like getting him the ball on multiple possessions. After drawing the defense in and just like spraying it out to him for 3, and he was able to capitalize, and that really got him going. But yeah, I mean, he was great tonight. Hopefully he can keep this up. I mean, when he's rolling like this, it makes for this team to be very, very difficult to stop. I mean, you saw like the first half today, 14 threes. That's a franchise record for most threes in a first half. I mean, like this team, like when he's rolling like this, and like when Jalen Brunson's rolling, and Julius is in his threes, it looks like a really like the offense was flowing in that first half because guys were just moving, guys were just hitting shots, and it was just great.
And I just want to say, I said it on the Strickland account just a couple minutes ago. And by the way, I assume anybody who's watching this is following the Strickland account, but we're going to be even better in the games. We got a guy live clipping the games with highlights and stuff now. So, make sure you're, if you're the type on Twitter to have like a list, make sure to add Strickland to your list, because we've got a bunch of in-game stuff that's really good now. But I said it on the Strickland account after the game. You can't expect the Knicks to shoot like they did in that first half ever. That's not a reasonable thing. It was cool to see it. It's cool that we're really skilled and capable of having those hot stretches. But I'll tell you what, everything else the Knicks have been doing these last 7 games is completely sustainable. Like, that is the best part about this team, and I don't know how many times we can say it. They're winning these. Like, there was a play in the first half when Grimes screened for Randle. Grimes thought he was going to get a dribble handoff. He had just made a 3 the possession before. Grimes screened for Randle thinking they were going to flip it. Randle didn't flip it. And all of a sudden, Grimes had to get the fuck out of the way. So he clears off to the weak corner, sprints to the weak corner. RJ's there. RJ has to move. RJ, instead of moving to the top of the wing, sets a flare screen at the exact right moment, times it perfectly. Julius throws a skip pass, nails Grimes in the corner with the skip pass. Stuff like that, high IQ basketball, you can do that every night if you're prepared. And Josh Hart said it after last game. Tibbs has them prepared on both ends every single night. Effort, rebounding, smart high IQ basketball, not turning the ball over. All these things are just the style the Knicks are playing and can be depended on. So, yeah, they're not going to shoot what, like Sam just said, they're not going to shoot 14 for whatever from 3 in the first half.
Like 14 for 20 or something like that in the first half.
Right. But this isn't like a fluke. This isn't a flash in the pan stretch like that 9-game winning streak in 2021 was. This is a team of good players who are prepared, who all understand their roles and all want to be in their roles, who are trying really hard. And I can't remember a time that I've ever been as high on a Knicks team, like ever.
Yeah. I mean, this goes beyond. I mean, I like when I started my Knicks fandom, it was like around that 2011, like 2010, like era of Knicks basketball, and like 2012,
they
13 was like the pinnacle of like Knicks hoops that I've ever experienced. So like this goes like far and above and beyond all of that, and I'm just like sitting back enjoying the ride because I set my expectations dumb low for this team on purpose, so that way if they do manage to surprise me as they are right now, I can just enjoy it. So
You and Tyrese's generation was led astray and betrayed by that little 2-year run they had.
yeah. Shwin, how'd you feel about tonight's game?
It was such a weird game because it's like the first half was obviously just amazing, but even in the first, I mean, like it's one of those weird games where I was like the entire time they're going off in the first half, especially towards the end of it. I'm like, well, like look, they're gonna have to like actually try on defense. Because you could see, like, by the end of the first half, they were just like,
they were like legit, like just trying to get like Julius like lobs, and
yeah, they
like,
were just
ridiculous.
fucking around. So like, all right, like like they're gonna have to buckle down because they're not gonna keep Brunson can't keep shooting like this, and like I thought that way a little bit when they cut the lead to like 17 or something, and they had the ball after that take foul that Hart took, and I was like, oh man, like fucking around, like they might make this a little bit of an annoying game now. But like somehow it didn't matter. Like the Knicks literally didn't try in the second half. Like they basically tried for like 2 or 3 minutes when Josh Hart checked back in, and that was it. Like that was all that was required. So that was pretty great. I just want to say, people are going to look at this box score tomorrow, and they're probably going to look at it and be like, "Wow, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson played really well." And all I can tell you is they fucking suck. Like Cam Johnson went off once the game was over. Mikal Bridges did nothing in the first half, but just get fucking laid out. What's Tyrese's tweet? They had him biting the sheets. Yeah, Brunson had him like fucking. Brunson cooked him 1, 2, 3, 4. He cooked him like 8 different times, and this is the third game that he's cooked that fucking loser ass teammate of his that he had at Villanova. That guy fucking sucks. I'm happy that Julius despises him and his bullshit fucking 3-point celebration as much as I do. I enjoyed that thoroughly. I enjoyed the fact that this guy. Think about it. There's probably nobody in the NBA other than like some random dude played against Jalen Brunson and know him as well as Mikal Bridges, and he had no fucking shot. He had no shot. And again, this is the third time at the Garden he's cooked him. I'm pretty sure he cooked him in Phoenix too. The rest of the team just sucked that game. But like watching that was so satisfying because
Nope, Schwinn's in the Matrix.
Schwinn's so upset right now that he cut out.
He hates Mikal Bridges with like a burning passion.
I don't know what Mikal Bridges did to him, but every time Mikal.
I gotta say though, I agree with him about Bridges. I thought Bridges was. I agree with Schwinn about Bridges. I thought Bridges was just bad on both ends, like not even close. I thought Cam Johnson played a good game. I thought he was clearly their best
Johnson's
player.
really good at making open shots. He's really good at making open shots, and he's really good at making no pressure contested shots once the game is out of reach.
But he's also good at moving. But he's not open by accident. The Knicks aren't just leaving him open. He's moving himself.
I mean, I think if the Knicks were like really locked in, he wouldn't have been that open. And
they didn't care,
especially because they have nobody that, and they have nobody that can dribble. So that makes it harder for him to get open. And then more importantly, how many rebounds? I had this guy on my fantasy team only for scoring. But like
now we know where this is coming from.
Does he? How many rebounds did he have tonight? Did he have like 3?
Yeah, I have the scoreboard up.
Cam had 2.
Yeah, he's like one of these guys who's just he can score, and then you'll be like, wow, he played well, and then you'll notice like when the games where he doesn't score, you're just like, whoa, wait. Do you suck?
What does he do?
Yeah, like you suck now. And that's what he is. Like people talk about him like he's like this $20 million a year guy. Like, why am I paying? He can't lock up anybody. He can't D up anybody. He's soft. He's weak, and he can't create shit off the dribble other than a mid-range pull-up. Like
I mean, that's like one of the main reasons why. And we'll stop talking about Cam Johnson after this. But that's like one of the main reasons why like so many people were shocked like that he went that high in the draft. When he got drafted that high, I forgot like what was it, like pick 11 or something like that by Phoenix.
Yeah.
And like so many people were shocked.
He was old too. He was a 5th year.
He was like Exactly. He was a
He
fifth
was
year
older than
senior.
Booker when he got drafted.
Yeah, he was a fifth year senior. He was older than Booker, and like all he was known for was like being a 3-point specialist at North Carolina, and everybody was like, "What the hell are the Suns doing?" I mean, you kind of see like what he is. I mean, this is what he's been since North Carolina. He's been like just basically a 3-point specialist, and that's about it. I mean, he's really damn good at it, and he's like made a pretty good living off of it in the league. But if you're like expecting him to do much more than that, then you're like really asking like for him to move mountains.
Specialists are extinct. Like I was listening to the Knicks Film School podcast today that had Cats on, and they were talking about it.
Mhm.
If back in the day, a guy like Cam Johnson, he would have been valuable. He would have been really valuable.
Steve Novak.
Yeah. I mean, he's better than Steve Novak, but yeah, like similar idea. Like, but that's how much the bar has changed now. We're like a guy like Cam Johnson, who's 100% capable of doing more shit than Steve Novak is basically considered a specialist.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say you can play him off the floor entirely, but like he is not helping you at the top level.
He's not raising your ceiling all that much.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Cam's fine, but like he's like a border. He's probably like a guy that on an actual contending team you'd prefer if he was like your 9th or 8th, 9th, 10th guy, something like that. I'm not sure you want him for like when you have to shorten a rotation down to like 6, 7 guys in a finals or Eastern Conference Finals, whatever. He's not a guy I want in that rotation.
On Phoenix, he was like what, like the 7th or 8th guy on that team?
I mean, yeah. And I think like in that he was on fire though in those playoffs, which is why like it was fine. But last year in the playoffs, I think if I remember correctly, he didn't shoot as well. And I remember like Suns fans bitching about him all the time, which makes sense. By the way,
is he like a bad defender? Like I know he's not like he's not.
He gets the label of 3-and-D, but his defense is not really all that special enough to really call him a 3-and-D guy. It's like kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely better on defense than Spencer Dinwiddie. I will say that.
Fuck Dinwiddie.
Oh man. All right, let's talk about. Should we talk about Randall Robinson or Quickly next?
Quickly.
Or Hart? Quickly. Let's talk about Quickly. All right, 6th man of the year candidate. Once again, 15 points off the bench, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 50% from the field, 40% from 3. Just doing Emmanuel Quickly things. And Malcolm Brogdon had a shitty game tonight, so it's an even special night to pump up some 6th man of the year prop for Emmanuel Quickly.
His odds have been moving like crazy the last.
Yeah, they have been jumping crazy lately. So hopefully more people. Hopefully it's not just like a movement of like people betting so much, or like actual people watching the games and figuring shit out.
Dude, I was on a space the other day, literally like a week ago, and I said to the space, there's like a decent amount of people in there, a couple hundred people in there, and I was like, guys, I'm literally looking at DraftKings right now, and Quickly is plus 15,000 to win 6th man of the year. I was like, we should all just bet this right now, like because he'd been playing good for a little bit, and the steam was starting to pick up. Some guy in there, it's like, dude, nobody's plus 15,000 has a chance to win. What are you talking about? And I was like, no, he can. Like, I literally got into it with this guy for like 5 minutes. Like, no, he can win this. Like, we know he's the best. Like, we've known for a month now that he's the best 6th man. This isn't a secret to Knicks fans, but what he's doing right now, and I'm a little bit nervous because we all know Quickly. Like he's like got a little flair to him. He would fucking love to win 6th man of the year. And I think he knows that you have to score to win it. Like to get the media award, I think he knows it's a scorer's award. And so look, the thing I love about Quickly the most, the thing we all love about Quickly the most is his scoring has never mattered. His scoring has only ever mattered in the sense of how high can his ceiling go. But his floor is good basketball player. And I just hope he doesn't put a little bit extra emphasis on scoring because, I'm going for 6th man of the year, We didn't really see that too much tonight, but something to look for going forward. Dude is everything we have been saying he is for a year. Dude impacts winning. Unlike any other. Brings it on both ends. Great basketball player. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam. Keep going.
And it's so great to see like so many fans finally I've seen so many fans tweeting recently like, oh man, I was wrong about Quickly, or man, I really underrated Quickly. And it's like, man, it's all right. Welcome to the light. Welcome to the light, family. Welcome to the light.
It's not, fuck them. No.
Nah, come on, we got to keep the good vibes up. 7 straight wins. People are finally opening their eyes to the gospel of Emmanuel Quickly.
I won't out them, but Like, it's really funny seeing some of the people that were like, Tibbs has a reason to not play him over Alec Burks. I'm like, yeah, okay, dude.
Man,
Yeah,
those
you
people,
always,
they were blinded, but now they can see, as the great Amazing Grace has said.
yeah, and I wanted to say this today. I thought Tibbs. This is like more. There was more evidence there that Tibbs is definitely like. I don't care how he got to this point, but he's definitely making more interesting rotation decisions. Like in the second half, he pulled Mitchell Robinson when he saw Claxton come out early. And he put Hartenstein in to match up his minutes against Sharp. Because in the first half, what they did is he left Mitch in, and then like the Nets kind of found a little bit of, I don't want to say momentum, but they've got a little bit of footing when Hartenstein came in and Claxton was matched up on him. But Mitch, obviously, I mean, Mitch killed him in the Sharp minutes, so it kind of didn't matter. But I thought it was an interesting little thing he did in the second half where he went to that, because like that's the type of thing he doesn't normally do, and that's the type of thing where, like, so a better team, right? Let's say you're playing Cleveland, and he goes with, like, he takes Jared Allen out a little early, puts Mobley at the 5, bring Dean Wade in, whatever. That's like them probably trying to buy some minutes for Jared Allen where he can go straight up against Isaiah Hartenstein. And that's the type of thing that Tibbs routinely allowed in the past. Like, if you go back and watch the first Cavs game, we were awesome in the third quarter, completely like turned the game around. But then we went into that all bench fourth, like in the fourth quarter, we went into that all bench unit. And the way Bickerstaff had done his rotations was to bring back Donovan Mitchell and Mobley in at that time. And they completely blitzed us and turned the game back around in their favor. But like when he does shit like this, that's actually more encouraging. That's more encouraging to me than all the people that are like, see, I told you he always trusted quickly. I'm like, no, you're fucking wrong, but that's fine. You don't need to debate that. But like these are more, again, just more evidence of like, okay, maybe Tibbs is like, I don't care if Leon Rose told him like, listen, bud, if you don't shape up, you're going to get fired. I don't care if he came to the conclusion on his own. I don't care how it happened. But the fact that he's doing shit like this actually makes me believe that he won't just be like a total fucking negative come playoff time.
I still don't think he fully trusts quickly, by the way. Like, I think
he won't give him enough point guard reps. But go ahead.
Right.
Jeff.
I think, no, that's what I was going to say. So I'll be short. I think he fully trusts him as a player. I think he loves quickly as a player. But I still think a part of Tibbs sees him as like a bench energy guy. And you see it with how hesitant he is to play long minutes without Brunson. Brunson's legitimately going to play the rest of the season at a 40-minute a night stretch. Or pace,
what did he play tonight?
36, but he got pulled at the 4-minute mark.
I will say, though, his second half was like, I could have played his second half tonight for most of it. He was just like,
coasting.
Dude, the second half started, and he was just like,
all right,
RJ, all right, Julius, you guys just fuck around for a while. Once again, when the lead gets back down to 18, let me know. I'll step in and make sure we're all right.
Right, but I agree with you. But like Brunson, but Tibbs still with like a 25-point lead or whatever it was, it got cut to 21. Oh God, he still went back to Brunson after just 4 minutes of rest on a night he got injured. With a 21-point lead, he brought him back in before the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter after he played the whole third quarter. I'm not complaining. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just saying we're talking about him trusting quickly. I think he trusts quickly as a basketball player. I don't think he fully trusts him as a point guard. And I think that a better way to do this would be to stagger Brunson and Randall's minutes, like to pull Brunson a little bit earlier at the end of the first quarter and make sure one of them is on the court at all times. I think his answer to what you're saying, Schwinn, he's just going to play Brunson and Randall the whole first quarter and the whole third quarter. And anytime that bench unit looks like if they're up against a matchup, like you said, against the Cavs, where the starters start the second or start the fourth, if there's even a crack in the armor, he'll just go back to Brunson and Randall. Like, he's not going to be afraid to play them 44, 42, 45 minutes any playoff game.
Yeah,
I feel like in the playoffs, it's warranted to it's like more.
For sure.
Like,
I agree. I'm not saying it's awful. I'm just saying I don't think he's. Yeah.
Speaking of the first and third quarter, though, I mean, Randall playing that entire third quarter was insane. By the way, that was legit my only complaint for tonight's game. Randall playing that whole third, because like he absolutely looked like he wanted to give the game away to the Nets, and he
was trying to get some mixtape highlights off.
that was for AN1. That was for Hoop Mixtape. That was for like Ball is
Life.
Yeah, he was pouring one out for
Ball Don't Stop.
He's pouring one out for Dawkins.
Oh man, Dawkins, that's a classic channel. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Dawkins is crazy. I
Uh,
remember the first time I discovered that. I was like, nobody knows about this. It's just me.
It was legit a gold mine.
like
Oh,
my man
man.
is trying to bolster his all NBA case. I was like, dude, you'll get it. Relax. You don't need to do all this stuff. But I mean, ultimately, he still ended up with like an efficient night. So like, we move. Plus, like the way he was diving in the first quarter, like he probably could have. He should have had triple double tonight. But say love.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was solely responsible for like Grimes really getting off to such a great start tonight.
He hit like 3 cross court skip passes that like made no sense. Like in real time, you watch those
Well,
passes, they went to like 3 Nets guys.
And they made complete sense though, because it was the first time I think I've ever seen him consistently, like he knew they were going to trap, and as soon as he got the ball, he knew where the trap was coming from and just fucking zinged it over there. It was great to see. Like I'm actually like, that's why watching him in the second and third quarter was so annoying. I was just like, can you go back to that? Can you go back to doing that and like stop trying to go coast to coast? And like he threw this fucking behind the back pass to Grimes, like while Grimes is cutting through the middle, and I'm like, how do you think this is like good? Like
they were like legit, like just like trying whatever BS was coming to their head at certain points in this game. It was just like, what the hell?
If I was a Nets fan, I'd be so pissed that like nobody on our team just put somebody on the Knicks at. Like I that was embarrassing. That was just like basically for about, I would say about like what,
half the second quarter and like
yeah.
All
So that's like 30 minutes for about 30 minutes of game time. The Knicks were just like
fucking around.
Fucking around. That was
they
insane.
tried to Randall lobs.
Yeah, in traffic, this is not like wide open, you know, alley oops.
And he was like trying to catch some like one hand tomahawk, like trying to like just like yam it like Zion or something. It's like, dude, relax.
Y'all know he can't jump, right?
No, he can jump, but he needs like it has to be like
a
straight line. Like
straight line drive.
Yeah.
He can't be like coming like running off the baseline like like prime
Obi.
Blake Griffin or something.
He's gotta be playing like Boston, and then he can then he gets real hops all of a sudden.
Yeah, but it was just how like they literally did not care. They were just like trying stuff. Like Grimes is out here trying to sauce dudes up. Like
he had a fucking like post fadeaway on like Patty Mills. Like he was just like Grimes just like was like, all right, I'm gonna try some shit too.
He was like, this is my
dude. They had a zone busting play that was quickly from the mid post.
Yeah.
like
actually. And actually, I wanted to point this out because I thought this is exactly why you go and get Josh Hart. After that play, quickly, like he turned, so he caught the ball with his back to the basket. Mm-hmm. If he had turned middle, he would have had an open lane. He turned the other way, and he ended up getting the ball to I think Hartenstein or somebody, and they scored anyway, or they got fouled. But like,
wait, on the play I'm talking about?
Yeah, almost positive.
Yeah. Yes.
No, he got an and one.
Okay, so that's what it was. I knew they stopped. They went to the line. So. Like once the foul got called and they're going to the line, Hart stopped him and like told him if you go back and watch it, he told him like, and you would have had a bucket. Like you can see him do it. But those are like the small things that Hart brings to the table that like obviously you're just not like
intangibles.
Yeah, it's there's value to that probably isn't going to manifest in like tangible. Yeah, it's not going to. But those are the type of things that like. Okay, now quickly, next time he's in that position, will he make a more optimal decision? Because he did get an and one, but it was like because he had to like spin and then pump and get like Thomas up in the air and then pivot through right and finish. So like it was a harder shot, but if you're just going the other way, it's like an open layup.
I also want to say one more thing because Tyrese brought it up earlier and then we kind of got veered off the subject. Not only did Randall make the like pretty skillful passes that like very few people are talented enough to make. He made multiple swings that like literally I'm just looking for it now. Like because last game he had that play where he anticipated the double team and Grimes got a 3 off his hockey assist. And like if this dude is like even an average processing passer with his actual skill level, his ceiling somehow goes up from what this season is. Like people are like, oh, how can Julius Randle improve? He's not going to, that's like how he improves is he makes his team better that way with things that don't directly add to his, stat sheet. And multiple times he got the pass on the wing and just like you can see him. You can see he wants to stop. He wants to pivot. He wants to assess the situation. And it's like it's getting through to him like, oh, no, I just flip it to the corner because the defense is scrambling and we have an advantage. It was awesome to see. I mean, we can't really again. I agree with Sam. I was saying it before the show started. Like he was terrible in the third quarter, but like you guys were just saying, everyone was just kind of fucking around. So like, how do you analyze that?
Yeah. All right. Before we get into some comments, I do want to get quickly to the ad read so that we can get this out of the way. NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back. I actually did not bet today, so there's that.
You didn't lose money. So that's good.
No, I knocked out before the game, and then I woke up like right before the game. So
he called the number, ladies and gentlemen. He called.
I didn't call the number.
Sam, you want to hear? Sam, you want to hear? I had at halftime same game parlay over 244.5, and Knicks minus 24.5.
Oh
wow.
Knicks win by 24 on that 3 at 1 second left to get backdoored.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
always something.
That's why you should. Hey guys, code TBPN. You too can be like me and lose and lose.
So download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Shrun, what did you want to say?
The Knicks are 6-1 against the spread since they acquired Josh Hart. And they've mostly just been crushing the spread.
Yeah.
Which game did they tie?
Wizards.
That makes sense.
I think it was because that was basically because Hart missed a free throw at the very end.
Yep. And they got the rebound anyway.
Yeah.
Schwinn, you're going to love our first comment by Chris Bernhard. I'm not hearing nothing else about Bridges being an elite 1v1 defender. Brunson took his lunch, gave it back to him, then took it again.
Yeah.
Definitely did that.
Bridges is I've never seen him once in my life against an elite scorer. Forget, look, you're not going to stop an elite scorer, but make them work for it, affect them. I don't know.
Brunson was he did it with ease tonight.
He just he got to his spots every single time. Every single time he wanted to get somewhere, he got there. And to me, an elite defender, right? If a guy is making ridiculous shots, it's one thing. And Brunson was making ridiculous shots. But you were also just letting Brunson get to wherever the fuck he wanted. So you're there. You're right there contesting it.
But you're not bothering him.
Yeah, you're getting him to I contested your shot, even though you're shooting exactly from where you want to. It was a joke. He's not an elite defender. He's definitely not an elite on-ball defender, which is I think that's the misconception. He's really good if you have him as an off-ball guy, chasing dudes off screens, playing passing lanes, crashing the glass, all that type of stuff. That's what
he's great in the passing lanes.
But you tell him to go.
You know who was similar, Schwinn, to that? Who got super overrated because of that misconception was peak Robert Covington.
Yeah, Covington got really overrated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Every time Robert Covington was brought up, it was just the idea of Robert Covington was just so much better than what he actually was on the
Robert Covington is still eating up that 3-and-D all the
He is. He's
that?
on the Clippers bench, just chilling now. But yeah,
Make it 10
was it Brandon Cooks in the NFL that kept getting traded every offseason for a first round pick?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Robert Covington was that guy for a while. Where it was man, this guy's awesome, and then after a year, you're yeah, he's good, but
we could trade him.
Yeah, let's get the pick back. And that's what Covington was for a long time. It was just yeah, I guess he's fine, but I'll take a pick. That's fine. I'll take a pick. Every team just take.
Oh man.
So let's project on the topic of this. Let's project forward a bit.
Okay.
Who do you guys think? Because coming into this season, and honestly a little bit to start this season, we said, or not we, like I don't want to group you guys with my L, but I said, okay, there are going to be some bigger guys who give him some trouble, and like I would have assumed Mikal Bridges would fit that mold. You know, I would actually assume that the Nets kind of have a few guys who would fit that mold. Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, guys who could potentially give Brunson trouble, who could stay with him. Clearly, that's not true. So we're looking at the playoffs. Are there any defenders in the East, save Marcus Smart, who like you think Brunson isn't going to be able to get to his spots first?
I think he can. It's not. There's nobody.
No, but Cavs fans think Okoro will.
Nobody in the NBA, one-on-one, if you're not giving them help in any way, is stopping Brunson from getting to his spots. Without the teams that have had success against Brunson, like Toronto, and he cooked them one game anyway, but like what they do is they shade help over, but it's not like it's like these traps and these soft hedges and you're like soft trapping and stuff like that. You want to use your length in a way to kind of like make him hesitate on drives. And that's what I think is so like a team like Boston did that in the last game against him, right? He didn't have a particularly great game against Boston. And I think that's why, because they weren't just like, it wasn't just like, okay, Smart, you're on an island with him, go stop him. It was like, okay, we're going to trap him this time. We're going to have somebody shade over. You got to mix it up. He's that good of a player. And then like, you know, the Nets, I think that team is just fucking, and I kind of get it. Like whatever you want to say, like, you can't just trade for a bunch of guys middle of the season and then be like, okay, actually, you guys who are in the rotation are now further down the pecking order or straight up out of the rotation. And we're starting Mikal Bridges. We're starting Cam Johnson. We're starting Spencer Dinwiddie. And we're starting Dorian Finney-Smith. That's ridiculous. Like, it's just that's not – that only worked for, like, the 2018 Cavs because LeBron was like, okay, I'm going to try now. And, like, that's the only reason it doesn't work for normal basketball teams. So – yeah, but not to go down that path anymore. But yeah, I just think like teams that can throw length and deploy it in different ways and are creative in how they deploy it are the ones that have success. So like, hopefully, thankfully, please God, don't let us play fucking Nick Nurse and the Raptors in the playoff series. I don't want to watch Nick Nurse and Tibbs run their players 78 minutes a game into the ground. But yeah, I think, but maybe Boston. Though I'm not sure Missoula is that creative defensively. I am getting a little skeptical about him for different reasons.
You don't think Smart has another gear?
No, I think Smart plays like he's a lot like Josh Hart. Those guys just play super hard all the time. Their gear,
but they didn't
is like
they didn't deploy him on Brunson the way I feel like they would in a playoff series last game.
Say it again.
Did you hear that, Sven?
No, I didn't catch the end.
Oh, I said, in my opinion, they didn't deploy Smart against Brunson last game the way they would in a 7-game playoff series, in my opinion.
So I think they have issues because just in terms like, I think they like Smart on Randall, which actually that makes sense to me. I would like him on Randall. And if you take Smart off Randall, then you have to put like Tatum on Randall. And we saw or you put Horford on Randall, and Randall absolutely fucking roasted those guys the last 2 times we played them, or the first 2 times we played them this season. So I think that's just a weird conundrum. Like Milwaukee's a team I could see giving us trouble, although Brunson just absolutely roasted them too. Like I'm kind of at the stage where I just think like Brunson's really good, and if he has an off game, it probably has more to do with like him having an off game than whatever a defense.
Him.
Yeah, I just think he's really that good right at this point. Like, you know, he's been fucking amazing.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Shout out Jalen Brunson. All right.
Also, backspace. Who the hell thinks Okoro is gonna stop Jalen Brunson?
I saw in the quotes someone said like so I think it was
it Samaj?
No, it was Jason Maples had tweeted about like he was excited about a Cavs versus Knicks series, and someone in the quotes was like, oh, all these people saying Jalen Brunson's gonna like cook Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, and he was like, Okoro has something to say for that. And then I quoted it with a video of Kevin Hart laughing because like that was hilarious to me because like I don't see Okoro doing jack shit to Brunson.
Is Okoro gonna score more than 15 points that entire series? Let's be honest. Like he can't stay in the court.
Are they gonna pass the ball to Okoro more than 15 times in that series?
True.
He's actually been good recently. Offensively,
from the corner because nobody cares about him.
I mean, look, Bitcoin had a good run at one point too. Friends don't let friends get into NFTs.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see Okoro bothering like Jalen Brunson. Cavs fans, they can have their delusions.
Okoro wouldn't bother his own mother. Like, are you kidding?
Oh my gosh!
Jesus Christ! Who gives a fuck about that?
Okoro needs to just stick. Like, he needs to just stay in the weight room where he belongs.
Tyrese, you need to be like a stand-up or something. I don't know how you come up with some of these lines. You're just sitting there, you're quiet, and then you just say something. You drop a bar, man. You got something going. There's a screw loose up in your head. It's impressive. I'm a fan.
Just the one screw.
The one screw.
It's just like a little off kilter. I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh man, shout out to Trevor Keel's minutes tonight. We finally got Trevor Keel's minutes, so I feel like it's been forever.
First NFL linebacker to play in an NBA game. Congrats to Trevor Keels.
Well, Clive Frazier, if heaven forbid Mitch went down again, oh my god.
Don't say that, please.
Like knock on wood here. How would that affect your expectations for a playoffs, a repeat of 21, or do you think they could still go deep?
They don't win without Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at what Mitch does, like, on both ends. I mean, now he's, like, getting double-doubles. Like, it's nothing now in his sleep. And, like, the rebounding, the defense is just absolutely impeccable. I mean, that definitely affects my expectations for the playoffs. I don't see us going as far as I think we can if Mitch is playing.
I don't think we can't get out of the first round without Mitch.
Of course not.
That's just it. Like, maybe you can steal a game, 2 games, but you're not winning a series without Mitch. Which has less to do with, like, Hardenstein's a great backup. Sims is an awesome third center. You ask those guys to level up in a playoff series, that's tough. And on top of that, like, that is a scenario where I think Tibbs's rigidity and an unwillingness to experiment with Randall at the 5 actually hurts you. But if you have Mitch, I think we're good. Like, like we talked about this last time, like, I just don't think there are a lot of teams out there that are going to be, like, crushing you enough in that, like, play 5 out. I mean, Boston last year probably could have done it, but this year Horford is not the same guy. He's not moving anywhere near as well. I guess the his last supply of Balco supplies ran out. But like he's not moving as well, and ultimately, like, if Robert Williams is healthy, you're not going to play the guy. You're going to play him. So I just don't think they would be able to do it. And other than that, like, what other teams can do that? I mean, I guess arguably the one is Milwaukee, right? Because Brook is, like, a credible 3-point shooter. I'll just say, in a playoff series, I am content to, like, use
let
Mitch
Brook Lopez beat you.
Yeah, like, if you are like, we are not going to let Mitch just stay in the paint, and Giannis can just try and, like, fucking ram his way through him and Randall the entire game.
Whoa.
And calm down. And and I will go with that versus like having Mitch track Robin or Brook Lopez out there like he's like fucking Steph Curry or something. It's fine. I'll take that trade off any day of the week. And we know Drew Holiday can't shoot in the playoffs. So
he shit's absolutely dog shit in the playoffs.
I'm not worried about Drew Holiday minutes, and Chris Middleton is walking like he's a paraplegic. We're good.
He's actually looked better lately.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. I mean, he cooked the Nets the other day. I mean, who doesn't cook the Nets? But yeah,
John Hart cooked the Nets.
How is Drew Holiday still catching strays? Like, how many times do I have to? What are we doing here,
folks? Their finals run. He pissed me off so much. Like, he caused like so much extra like drama because like he just wasn't playing good, like offensively.
He hit the biggest shot in a game 7 against Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant scored like 50 points, and then he had
but like
okay.
I think that game
he also
hold on.
He also shot 12, 6 of 23 in that.
Yeah, if he doesn't shoot 6 of 23, I think that game is like way. He had a bunch of those.
I'm pulling this up right now.
He had
This is
48
ludicrous.
true shooting and then 46 true shooting next year. Oh,
Yeah,
Dude, when
this
you
is this. These are his splits in the last two playoffs. Okay, last two. 2021, 2020, 2021, the year they won the championship. 40.6% from the field, 30.3% from three. And he at least gave you 8.7 assists that year to 2.4 turnovers. He averaged 17 points per game on 17 shots per game. Last year,
that's
Okay,
just at the
12
red numbers. Like, come on.
that's like actually I'm probably better than that slightly sometimes. But like last year, 37.9 from the field, 31.6 from three. He gave them 19 points on 19.6 shot attempts.
That's from the rec numbers.
You guys y'all sound like the people who spent the last year hating on Emmanuel Quickly.
No, all I said about Drew is that come the playoffs he can't shoot, and that's just a fact. That doesn't mean I don't want Drew out there in the playoffs and on the Bucks, but that's just like this man has so many possessions where like I'm like, what are you like? He'll just have the ball. He has this weird thing, right? Because he's a right-handed player, but he loves driving left. Like he only will drive
He'll,
left.
Like dribble, go around like the basket, go around, and
it's just he just has possessions, and I'm like, what on earth are you?
Looks like he's like aimlessly dribbling around. Yeah, it's
he's
so
Russell Westbrook with a white wife. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, whoa, relax.
48 true shooting, dude. Like,
how did we get here?
If Russell Westbrook could play defense, then yes.
Exactly. Okay, Russell Westbrook with plus defense and a white wife. There we go.
The plus defense is pretty insane, though. It's pretty good.
It's like plus defense. How did we get here from talking about Mitch? How the hell did we get to talking about Drew Holiday?
That's what we do.
All right, Christopher Vieira. He says Thomas has to win a playoff series. I love that he calls him Thomas, by the way. Thomas has to win a playoff series if we are either fourth or fifth. That is the new bar because we are a very good team. Yeah, I think that like we have to win a playoff series with.
I don't think you have to win. I think you have to be competitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
we can't go out. We can't go out like 2021.
Like if they lost to Cleveland in like 6 or 7 games, I'm in real time. I'll be like, "What the fuck? This is awful." But like actually being rational about it, I'd be like, "Okay, like that's probably okay." But like you can't go out like it can't be the Hawks series where like after the second game you've got nothing. You just have nothing, and then you don't try anything. Like it can't be that. This team is
good enough for that. Exactly. As Schwinn would probably say, this team is beyond good enough for that. Oh, yeah, there's Schwinn. He's back. I was continuing your thought.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, it's not that deep a thought. Like, I get the sentiment, like, but I still think, like, at the end, if you look back at this year and it ends because they lose in like Game 6 or Game 7 to the Cavs, and it's a competitive series, I still think, as a Knicks fan, you should feel like very, very good about where the franchise is and what direction it's heading in, because you're going to have probably like the 11th pick in the draft, courtesy of Kyrie Irving, but you have all of your picks moving forward. Like you're in the position to make the type of like let's go get XYZ star that's on the market. If that happens, right? You're in that position.
LeBron.
No, we're not doing that.
Hey, whoa, that's my goat. Relax.
Yeah, well, that's why your generation's stupid.
Oh man, why did I catch a stray in that? Because
Sam's like a 24-year-old in a 33-year-old's heart.
Oh my god. All right, let's see what other comments we got here. We got more questions about like the bar being raised for Thibs to win a playoff series. It seems like this is a really common theme now. I mean that's expected. I mean, like the team really looks dominant in these games, so like the expectations are just naturally gonna rise. And everyone seems to like, I think everyone, like not even just like Knicks fans, I think just NBA fans are really locked in on this idea of a Knicks versus Cavs 4-5 matchup. I think a lot of people are underestimating us though in that series though. Like,
Have you seen the script yet, Tyrese?
Script for the playoffs?
Yeah. Is Cavs Knicks part of the script?
I mean, what's gonna happen is Game 6, Donovan Mitchell's gonna have that little tween hezzy step back that he likes to do, and then the Knicks are gonna be up 17 instead of 20. And Donovan Mitchell's gonna pop out his chest and be like, "This is my city. We don't claim you, bitch." Francisco Lindor's gonna be dapping up Jalen Brunson at half court, and Donovan Mitchell's gonna shed a single tear and be like, "This is my team."
I think
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson to fucking rock his jaw.
I just think we're like weirdly have the guards that can give him problems. Like all those guys, because Mitchell's like super explosive, obviously vertically, but he's not like, I don't know. I don't think of him in the half court as like, to me, his burst isn't like, it's not like prime Russ or John Wall or some shit like that. And I think Grimes does a really good job getting into him. RJ theoretically maybe could one day.
He's
Quickly
gotta
does a
lock
really good
in.
job on him. Deuce has done a good job on him. Like Hart probably will do a good job on him. We just have guys that give them trouble, so I think it's like a weird matchup for them.
Look, I'm gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say this once only. What's gonna happen to Donovan Mitchell in the playoff series when he has to go against the Knicks wings and guards is worse than what Bernie Madoff experienced, because he's gonna be locked the fuck up. Like, to put this in layman's terms, Donovan Mitchell is going to look like a shell of himself, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, my groin hurt." I don't care about the Cavs. Knicks in 5.
I did enjoy his injury at the end of the last game.
My man is pulling injuries every time he loses the game. Like,
He had
and
an
you saw
injury
against-
today, right?
yeah, and then he was like, my side. Like, tell your buddy Darius Garland to hit his free throws. Maybe you'll win a game. Like, oh, well, they went off, they popped off like that. They basically scored half of the Cavs points, and nobody else in that team scored. Like, I don't care about this team. I'm sorry. You could put Evan Mobley in his green pole self. He's built like a Slim Jim. You could put him against Julius Randle and Robinson. Like,
This version of Randall is gonna be he's owned Mobley this year. So yeah.
This
Evan
comment
Mobley's
is
gonna say
hilarious, by the way.
Julius Randle is nightmares. He's just see Julius Randle doing this in his nightmares. Like, come on.
This
Schwinn,
comment is
can
hilarious,
you-
by the way.
Schwinn, can you, next time you do a pod with Prez, can you have me on for like 20 minutes so Prez can just explain to me? So he can literally just take 20 minutes and explain to me his fascination with these Cam Thomas type of players. I need someone to do it. I don't get it. Every single draft, there's these Sharif Cooper types who literally, like, I mean, I'm not claiming to be a draft expert, but like when I look at these people, they're dead to ever be NBA contributors ever. You can't be a ball dominant player who can't defend, who isn't good enough to be a number one option and be in the NBA. You need to be
The
like
Alonzo school,
to be-
the Alonzo Trier school of thought.
To be fair, I don't think
Bones, Alonzo
didn't like-
Trier.
he didn't like
Like-
Cam. He didn't like Cam Thomas. I know that.
Okay, but like Bones, everyone loves Bones. That dude is never like I just don't get it. At least Bones is like young. He's like 20, and at least he's what is
The
he
funniest,
like,
the funniest thing about Bones is Paul George the other day, like in a post game
Dude.
interview, like they asked him about Bones, and like he literally had nothing to say.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah,
Bones is
he just comes to practice.
he's
Oh
a
my
good. He could even say good young player. He was like, he's a young player.
Like,
I
poor
was like,
Bones, dude.
wow.
Bones is like getting. They were like, "Oh yeah, he's a good first round pick," and then Bones get traded, and now he's gonna be a bench warmer to Russell Westbrook.
I'll never forget. We played them in Denver last year, and Bones he had sucked all year and randomly went off against us, and that was like in the middle of like quickly having one of his weird like I can't make a shot for a month stretches. And there were just all these people like, oh my.
dude,
They were like-
Schwinn. All right, he just broke up, so I'm gonna finish his
See
thought.
that as,
Dude.
as
Oh, there
Teg-
he is. He's back.
Schwinn,
as
Schwinn.
as Teg says, this sums it up real quick. That sums up Bones Highland for me.
Schwinn.
Thank
Forget
God
last
IQ
year.
out of them Bones sucks.
Forget last year. They were saying it this year. The game in Denver. We had half the Knicks fan base who was like, "Oh, are we sure Quickly's better than Bones?" In that game in Denver, the game that Quickly locked up Jamal Murray to win the game. They spent the whole game talking about how Bones was this sick offensive player, and Quickly's just Quickly sucks. It was unbelievable. Like
The thing with
most
guys
annoying
like
thing
Bones, the
associated.
thing with a guy like Bones is like if you don't watch the full game of him and you just catch his
Highlights.
like highlights or you catch him
Highlights
on a
are,
night
like,
where he's
really
hot,
loud.
yeah, like you catch him on a night he's hot, he looks like fucking amazing. But if you watch him consistently, or you just look at some of his on-off data and you're just like, something is wrong here. Like honestly, I'd watch some of their games. Like, you can't be on a championship contender, be a second-year player, and just be jacking up 30-foot threes. Like, who are you, dude? Get the fuck out of here.
The fact that Nikola Jokic couldn't make that man win lineups should have told you everything you need to know.
This is the Kelly Oubre theory. It now applies to Nikola Jokic, which came from Steph Curry. It's like, if you can't play well next to Steph Curry or Nikola Jokic, the problem is you and not them. And I don't want you on my team. Like, Kelly Oubre should never be on the Knicks as long as I'm alive.
Those dark days when fans were clamoring for him.
They were still clamoring for him at the trade deadline.
Yeah, and Bones, maybe in 3 years he'll have like humbled himself and figured out how to play basketball. But until that day arrives, I'm good on Bones Island.
Watch when he gets traded to Memphis and him and John run rampant.
Yeah, that would have probably.
All
it's
right.
probably good that he did not end up in Memphis for his.
Different.
Larry Israel, but Brunson, the most unselfish dude, had 30 at halftime, took 3 shots in second. I don't think that has to do with unselfishness. I think Brunson just was like, all right, I'm good. Like, that 30 piece in the first half was nice. I'm good. Let me coast. Like, the rest of these guys, they got this shit. Like, I'm good.
My man knew that he had the SportsCenter highlight locked up, and he knew he had the post-game interview, so he was just like, let me try to get these stats now. He cares about parlays. Brunson is a first-team he's a parlay respecter. Tom Thibodeau, low-key a parlay respecter. That's why he be putting them in at the end of the games.
Tibbs is just crazy.
Yeah, he's insane. Like, he had these guys playing in the fourth quarter up like 20.
Dude, he got mad. He got mad when Hart threw. It was like there's like 4:30 left in the game. Hart threw a lob to Mitch. That was like, it just went over his head. We were up 26. And you see, they cut him on the sideline. He's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, fucking relax.
He challenged the Brunson charge.
No, that was a good challenge. I respect that.
They were up like 25 and he's
but that's like a point of principle. That's like, that's different to me because that's like, how do you miss that call? You can't miss that call. Also, that's my star player. So I'm going to I'm going to show him a little love here, protect him. And they appreciated it. It was good. I like that. I enjoyed it. I'm a fan. It nearly helped Jeff cover. So
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of random blowout stuff, we need to put a stop to the Derrick Rose chance. It was cool the one time, but like, I think it's incredibly bad.
Let's get some Evan Fournier chance.
Trevor Keel's chance would hit way harder. My man's a sniper.
I was trying to start it on Twitter. I was like, Trevor Keels. Trevor Keels. And I won. He came out.
The Derrick Rose chants were nice for like that one game because they gave me like the Rasheed Wallace vibes. Like when Mike Woodson was like, "Hey, you want to come in?" And then he was like, "Sure." And he came in and
it's like Billy Joel doing a concert at MSG for like 3 straight days. Like the first day is nice. The second and third day just feels excessive.
Do you think Deuce, like, he played what, like a minute and a half?
2 minutes.
He played in the morning, obviously, for Westchester in the G League. Do you think that after the game he showered, or do you think he was just like, I didn't sweat, I'm fine?
I think he showered.
Oh my god!
You got to get that like MSG off your body before you head out to the club or whatever.
He doesn't go to the club. He just goes to his girl's house and they do like Instagram and fucking Portuguese.
What?
You would see his girl. She's just always posting like her speaking Portuguese on like.
I'm not following Deuce Big Brother on Instagram or on TikTok. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't follow him on TikTok. I'm not that young.
Schwinn's not that hip. He's not that hip to the cool.
Yeah, maybe like next year that'll be my development over the offseason. What I'm gonna work on. My TikTok game.
Your TikTok for 36. Can't wait for that text from Schwinn. He just sends me a TikTok, the link, not even through TikTok. He's gonna send me a Facebook reel.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna send you my MySpace.
I mean, Schwinn is like most likely to have a random viral TikTok video. Like crazed Knicks fan rants about Mikal Bridges.
That's definitely gonna happen one day.
Can I read this cat's tweet?
Yeah.
Sure.
RJ Barrett on Knicks putting egos aside. We're winning. What's better than that? Everyone always says they want to be part of a winning team and stuff, and that's kind of what it looks like. Just a bunch of good players. You don't know whose night it's going to be on any given night. It's a good quote. Happy to hear him say that. Actually,
Yeah,
Very
out of all
specifically,
people, because
You-
like
you
he
need to
seemed
be
like the guy that was
one.
the most pressing to like get 20 points per game this year. Jordan
Oh,
Bub says,
can I read
"Leave-"
this? Can I read this one real quick? This is so good.
Yeah,
Feels so
yeah,
good.
go ahead.
This is from Tim McMahon at ESPN_McMahon. He's like the Dallas Mavs guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks have already matched last season's win total. The Mavs have already exceeded last season's loss total.
Oh, this is great.
Mark
This is
Cuban
so
did a
great.
I'm telling you, Mark Cuban did a statue in front of MSG. The way
Oh,
he's
man. Shout out
contributed
Mark Cuban, just letting Jalen Brunson walk all over to MSG.
for what, dude. Okay, can I just talk about the Mavs for a second and how
Mark Cuban needs a
FUCK they are?
statue.
A small one. You can like put him next. Matter of fact, no, forget MSG. Put him next to like the fearless girl and like the bull statue in like Wall Street. Just put him right there. Make him the bull. Like, because the way he's contributed to the New York ecosystem, he's done more than Eric Adams. Like,
I mean, who hasn't done more than Eric Adams?
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden.
True. All right. I walked into that one with that.
True, but like, and Cam Thomas, because fuck Cam Thomas. But like, dude, the Mavs are so stupid. Like, to put
They
this
went
in
all
layman's-
in, like,
Kyrie
too
Irving's not
soon.
staying on that team, by the way. Kyrie Irving is gone. Like, that man is already like dreaming of himself in a Lakers jersey with LeBron. While LeBron like whispers sweet nothings to his ear and tells him about Afrikaans. Like, did you understand?
Did y'all see how happy Kyrie was after they blew a 27-point lead to like dap up LeBron and AD in them? Like, he was so ecstatic. I had never seen someone that happy after a 27-point blown lead.
He was smiling like Fizdale. Like, that man was like, I won. He went into the locker room saying, I won. And they're like, we lost. We blew a 27. He's like, y'all blew a 27-point lead. My man is already injured himself.
Who's we?
Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, they traded for Kyrie Irving. They're probably going to lose Kyrie Irving. They'll get Dennis Schroeder back. Good for y'all. But, like, Christian was going to walk, by the way. Like, he walked off the court after he got subbed out late in the game. Jason Kidd can't coach. The year 2 Jason Kidd is happening. So it's just like, that team has
Mavs
nothing.
fans were like absolutely losing it on Twitter.
I was about to say, Sam,
That
that
space
space,
was legendary.
all of us caught that space last night, which is like the funniest thing ever. And I'm not gonna say that, like, these guys, they like basketball. That's what I can say about them. They like basketball. But Schwinn called this like 2 weeks ago. Like, this is why you tune into this postgame show. Schwinn said Kyrie's gonna underperform because Luka plays a certain style and hasn't evolved, and Mavs fans are gonna say he sucks and we need to get Luka more help. And they're already doing it. They're already saying,
they said the
Kyrie
Magic have more talent than them.
Yeah.
This. I'm telling you, the way Luka plays, he suppresses talent. Go and watch. If you go back, go look at the box scores. They played 2 games after the trade, I think, with Kyrie and no Luka. Right? They won both those games, and they were like, I watched both of them, and like the ball is zipping around. Everybody's running up and down the floor. Josh Green looked fucked.
This always happens. Josh Green was looking great. He was
Josh
looking
Green-
like a proper third
Josh
option.
Green needs to play more for them. Josh Green needs to play more for them, first of all, because he plays with pace and energy that they desperately need. And Jason Kidd is just bizarre. But like, if you go back and watch those games they played with Kyrie, no Luka, they played so much better, so with so much more energy than they played with them together. And I despise Kyrie Irving, and I don't think I think he's one of these. He's a very weird fit. He's like insanely talented, but he's not good enough to be a 1. But the guy you need to put him next to as a 2 is kind of specific. It's a hard thing. But like, all I know is watching them play yesterday, they did not they play with such they play so lethargically on offense. It's so weird because they play so they're still very efficient, but the way Luka plays is so fucking deliberate, and it's insane to me that they let Jalen Brunson out the door. Like, it is insane because Jalen Brunson is one of the few players in the NBA who 100% is perfect for that. He can play that deliberate, super grinded out half court ISO style. He's great off the ball. He can make it happen on the ball. They had him in the building for 4 years, and they had no idea what the fuck they had. Like, if there's a reason why you should play young players more in their careers, like earlier in their careers if possible, is so you avoid situations like this. Because before his last season in Dallas, they had convinced themselves this guy is nothing more than just like a nice bench piece. He's nothing more than a nice bench piece. Last year, and then they didn't really trust what they were seeing, so they didn't extend him. They didn't extend him in season when he apparently went to the table and said, "I'll still take it." And they're fucked, and they fucked themselves now. Like they made this trade. They traded for Kyrie to replace what they lost in Jalen Brunson. That is such like criminal management. That is
They did the Steve Nash thing all over again.
it's
And,
worse.
like,
It's so much
It's worse. It's
It's
worse.
it's way worse. And now they're like their fans are like speed running the Kyrie Irving experience. It's hilarious.
And,
It's
like,
it's bananas.
We've talked about this on the pod before, Schwinn. Like, if you like the two players of this generation are Steph Curry and LeBron James, and I think we can all reasonably agree LeBron's going to go down as, higher on the hierarchy. But their actual talent gap is way wider than where they're going to fall on the hierarchy and what their overall impact in the league was. Because LeBron plays a style that nobody should try to replicate, and Steph plays a style that everybody should try to replicate. LeBron is a floor raiser because he's so singularly great. But it's so hard for other great players to be great with LeBron because LeBron is so heliocentric. That is where Luka is right now. LeBron didn't learn to win until he went to Miami, started moving off the ball, started like learning, like winning things that wasn't just him dribbling the ball at the top of the key and organizing everything. Steph Curry, any player in the league will be great next to Steph Curry.
Unless you
And he elevates all of his teammates. I mean, Durant was able to just slide into Golden State and be his exact self. And I'm not saying LeBron and Kevin Durant wouldn't be great, but it would be a weird fit because they would just be playing his turn, my turn. It wouldn't be elevating each other. And Luka has to have his LeBron moment if he's gonna be anything more than a floor raiser as a player. Now, it's a very high floor because he's one of the most talented players in the league. But like Schwinn said, if they're going to get better talent, he's going to keep suppressing it because he's going to just keep turning them into role players. Look at what Porzingis is doing this year. You think like a Mavs fan will convince themselves that, Staps just sucked in Dallas. No, Luka dribbles.
Actually, this thing we should have never traded for him yesterday too.
Yeah, but what was he with Luka? He just pick and popped and stood around, and they didn't do anything for him. So I mean. Well, look, we've talked too much about the Mavericks, but I just thought that was very proficient by Schwinn to just be like, I know what's going to happen. Like, I know what's going to happen with this team because I thought that was really impressive. And I've always agreed with him. We talked about Cade Cunningham. And I was like, is Cade too heliocentric already? Is he already following that path? Should we and we've been on, I mean, him especially, but we've been talking about this for a while. And I thought that was really impressive.
Like none of these helio things ever work out that well. That's ultimately like the only one that got close was the Rockets, right? And that's because they got Chris Paul, who could like weirdly play the same. It's kind of like it was like a souped up version of Luka and Brunson. Was like Harden and that version of Chris Paul.
Can't wait for Harden to go back and run him Jalen Green and KPJ. It's gonna be hilarious.
He's gonna want to go back to Houston, and then he's gonna be in like training camp with them, and he's just gonna go to manager and be like, "All right, get all these fucking losers out of here. Like, get me some real players." Can you imagine him playing with Kevin Porter Jr.? I think he might actually like he might just lose it. And by lose it, I mean like he's just gonna go to Vegas for a month.
He's gonna go to the Houston strip clubs. The strip club cleanse will be incredible for him.
They got they have some fine establishments in that city.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah. Sam's back.
Yeah, I am back.
Sam low-key friends with the profile picture we saw you.
I had no idea what that was. I had to change it real quick. I was like, what the hell is that? But yeah, Jordan Bub, New York Knicks offensive stats on their 7-game win streak, 123.7 points per game, 50.6% from the field, 40.6 from three. Wow, that's pretty great. 126.5 offensive rating, 16.4 net rating.
Once they had positive regression with three, I told you like once the team had 3-point variance, their offense was going to peak. Like this offense is nuts. This offense is nuts. Like I'm sorry, they just have so many guys who are just like their floor is always going to be high because they hit a lot of their 2-point shots and they get to the line a ton. And like now if they can hit regular three balls, like if they're just a median outcome 3-ball team, then like this offense is nuts. And then their defense is going to be really good as well because you know that they have elite rim protection. You know that they're going to crash the boards, secure those boards, and it's like they have switchable wings. They just have a lot of deep pieces. It's going to be hard to stop this team in a series. And Donovan Mitchell experienced that firsthand. Like,
Quickly was 4 of 7 from 2 today, and I'm pretty sure he got fouled on all 3 of his misses.
you do.
Like, I don't think, like, to your point, Tyrese, like, Brunson's great from 2, but Quickly's like a 2-point god now. Like, it's ridiculous how good he is inside the arc. And it's like, we're seeing what that looks like. Like, I forget who tweeted it today, but like, it's since like December, he's at like 62% true shooting.
Yep. He got so much strength that now he can't hit free throws, but it's okay.
When is the last time Quickly missed? When's the last time Quickly took more shots than points he had?
We actually played this game a couple
those games ago.
Yeah.
We were saying
it was like the game against like Indy or something like that, or something like that.
It
Around that
seemed
time.
like
right.
It seemed like so long since he's had like a bad game.
Philly, the win against Philly.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
There we go.
How many shots did he have in that? I feel like he didn't shoot that much.
He had 8 shots and he had 5 points.
Okay, so that's like.
And he was still 2 of 5 from 3. No, 2 of 5 from 2. He didn't dissolve his 3-pointers. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nice thing is he's just had a really long stretch now where it's not even like these games where he's like 6 of 7 from 3, right? He's like pretty consistently like 2 of 5, 3 of 6, 3 of 7, 4 of 7, and then he's mixing in like his better 2-point scoring, and that's such a like stable. It gives him such a more stable scoring base, and I don't know. He's just. I think it was actually crazy to me that when he took him out again in the fourth quarter, because it was actually more crazy when he took Obi out when he did, because he checked. So he brought Brunson back in, and the first play out of it, which I thought was like maybe it was just such a simple play, but it was so good. They trap Brunson. Brunson swings it to Obi. Obi like immediately slings it across the court to IQ, who just attacks this bent defense, gets a wide open runway right to the rim, and hits a floater. He pulled Obi pretty. I mean, look, I'm not going to bitch about that too much, but I thought it was just really weird that he didn't leave him in, because I was like, oh my God, Obi is about to like actually, he's going to have like 4-on-3 opportunities right now. This is going to be great. And obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, I think quickly now, like when he plays off Brunson, especially, you can just see like they can't load up on him. And when you can't load up on him, he's just too shifty now for guys to like consistently stay in front of. If anything, he gets into it. His biggest problem is he gets into his own head and like overcomplicates dribble moves. Like he'll have a step, but then he'll be like, no, I want to do a step back. But then he'll be like, no, I don't want to do a step back. You know, like you can see his like brain working, but his process right now is just so good. And I think like it's part of the reason why there is frustration with RJ, who I thought actually was like okay today. But like it's like one guy you can just see like it's all clicking. And the other guy's just, he's doing some stuff sometimes. Cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, hopefully if RJ figures it out, like, again, he doesn't even need to figure much out. Just don't play like an asshole. And that'll be enough. Like, that really will be enough because of how good this team is right now.
And Schwinn, just to expand on the point you made, he had a 3-game stretch in the games Tyrese and Sam pointed out where he had more points than shots, or more shots than points, excuse me. Aside from those 3 games, take those 3 games, he's gone 24 straight games with more points than shots.
So basically 24 out of the last 27 games.
Yeah, 24 of the last 27 games, and all 3 of the ones that weren't just came in a row. It was just like a little 3-game slump.
Tell fucking
Yeah,
Spencer Dinwiddie to do that shit.
Yeah, but Malcolm Brogdon, guys.
What can you say? Best bench guy on the best team in the league.
They're the bench best on his own fucking team. God, get the fuck out of here.
Christopher Vieira says Stephen A. Smith has been telling us Cavs Knicks is the script for weeks. He got an advanced copy. Maybe.
I mean, it just
Stephen A. is also like he's also been Stephen A. Capper, so he's also lied a bunch. So
I appreciate Monica not giving him.
She absolutely schooled the fuck out of that ball.
Brogdon had 2 points tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I know he had an awful game today.
6th man of the year.
This is an incredible box score. I can't believe Boston actually won this game. Like, their bench gave them a combined 12 points.
Because the Cavs bench gave them a combined 14.
The Cavs, yeah, but that's like, how bad you have to be for a bench group to score 14, like to be outscored by the Cavs bench. That's nuts. Wow.
Yeah, the Cavs bench is absolutely putrid. Dean Wade, Karis LeVert, Ricky Rubio.
Karis LeVert is 20.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots looking at that playoff matchup.
Like,
Sam, you said Dean Wade with such contempt, like you were just fuck this guy.
I'm still pissed about that, like him absolutely getting off some threes versus that first
he killed us
matchup.
that one game, yeah.
Yeah, like what the hell was that about? Now
He's killed
like,
us a few times now.
Yeah, but like after that, like he's been absolutely like a non-factor basically. Like Cavs fans absolutely don't want him on the team next year, so it's just like.
Yeah, like he's a fucking Sabonis doppelganger. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, how the fuck are you in the league?
Yeah, I mean,
I think was. Oh, you go, Sean. Sorry.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is like watching them. I still think like they had to you had to do the Donovan Mitchell trade almost in their scenario in their position, but like it's hard. Like when you don't have any depth, like their team is basically like you 4, please win us this basketball game.
Isaac Okoro, please hit your quarter threes.
I mean, and like tonight, right? Like I'm just looking at this box score, but like Okoro and Jared Allen gave them a combined 14 points on 10 shots. And then like Mobley had 12 points on 15 shots.
Donovan Mitchell played.
If I'm the opponent, I'm taking that all day.
Yeah, Mitchell played 44 minutes. Garland played 41 minutes. LeVert played 33 off the bench, which tells you how bad Okoro was.
Is this team really supposed to like frighten us? Like, I don't understand like why so many people. I understand why people are taking them over the Knicks. It's like, oh, Donovan Mitchell, he's been there before, like blah blah blah. But like, I feel like we have the capable pieces to like bother him and like make the other players on the Cavs not as much of factors as they need to be in order for them to make an impact. And like last year in the play-in, we saw like a lot of these guys, they still like, I mean, that play-in was like their first like postseason experience in a way, but like, do they really like know what it's like to be there? I mean, we have Brunson, he's been there, he's won 2 playoff games without Luka himself, cracking Donovan Mitchell's skull open in the process. Like,
it's crazy to me that Josh Hart's never played in the playoffs because he's like the most
wild.
Like playoff rotation.
He's gonna have so much fun playing the playoffs. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I can hit everybody. This is great.
I think Sam, that's almost kind of what makes it scarier. Like as a Knicks fan who isn't very perfectly rational, at least speaking for me, is that like, everything is a range of outcomes, and so obviously, the Cavs aren't 0% to win that series. And I feel like a really high percentage of the time that the Cavs win the series, it's because Mitchell played like a superstar. And the Knicks losing to the Cavs in a series where Mitchell like averages 35 to 40 points a game, I don't even know if I could be on Twitter anymore. Like it would just be the most unbearable experience. We'd have to hear about it all the time. And it's like
we always end up being right. We always end up being right in these scenarios. Like, oh, the Knicks gave away Porzingis for nothing. And I was like, I think this trade is actually good. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally good for us. Oh, the Knicks didn't get KD and Kyrie. That's good. I didn't want them after KD blew his Achilles out. Like, I'm good. And I never wanted a Kyrie after watching that last season fucking meltdown in Boston. Like, the Nets got James Harden. Yeah, that's stupid. You just went all in on 3 unstable personalities, none of them who have an ounce of leadership ability in their bones. Like, if people make fun of us because Donovan Mitchell goes off because he plays like a superstar for a series, so be it. That's fine. I will live with that. and I'll live with that because I will be like, well, at least we still have all our ammo to go get another superstar at some point. But the Cavs have what they have, and maybe what they have will end up being good enough. But I'm just always, I'm telling you, man, these all-in trades, like they got to end. They got to end. How many of them have worked out? The Lakers have won a championship. They're fucking dog piss now. The Clippers look. I mean, OKC. Honestly, they might be better than the Clippers next year.
They won the trade. They got an all NBA
They're like better than this year.
and 5 picks.
Yeah.
Like, I get the Clippers are 5th, but like,
I mean, since they got Westbrook, they have absolutely dog
But the
pissed.
Clippers are supposed to be a title contender. Like, and I love Kawhi. I think PG is really good. But like, I've watched enough of their games now where I'm like, I don't think they have it. I don't think they have that level in them this year. They've gotten just destroyed by Denver too many times. Their record against the top teams in the league is not good.
and
Clippers
Kawhi
when they
can
played
be
us in New York, I think they got lucky.
They definitely did. Because like Nick Batum, look at him at the end of that Kings game.
Yeah.
Like
and so like I don't know. Like that one's not great. The Minnesota one we don't even need to talk about. Like it's the worst trade in NBA history, maybe. So there's that. The Brooklyn one for Harden didn't work out spectacularly, unsurprisingly. We'll see what the Kevin Durant one happens.
and then the Ben Simmons one after that, like that was sort of like an all-in, like kind of to recoup value in a way, but like that
They're
turned out
gonna
to be
trade
dog
picks to get on
piss.
Ben Simmons, dude. Like,
no, they should just tell Ben Simmons to stay at
Go
home for
home.
the next 2 years.
they
Go
should
home.
buy him out. Legitimately, just buy him out. Just buy him out.
Is he still dating Maya Jama?
No,
Oh,
I
then
hope.
that's
Thank
rough.
God. Thank God. Thank God.
he has been
Oh.
taking L's all over the place.
Oh, I got a chance.
Yeah, I see Larry saying the Cavs already lost that trade. Like maybe I kind of get that, but I still want to see Laurie in the playoffs. I need to see him in the playoffs. I've watched him enough this season where I think like he's definitely very good.
He was like their best player in like the play-in game, like against the Hawks.
Yeah, but he was just like popping threes. Like he was not creating offense. It's
Which
different.
like kind of speaks to like the Cavs.
What he's doing
He
now
still
with the
doesn't create
Jazz.
offense.
Yeah, I mean, like, but he's doing more now. Obviously, like he's doing way more. And all I was gonna say is like, I just need to see him in a playoff setting before I'm like he's a deserved all-star. But we saw this with Randall, right? Like you can be an all-star and then you get to the playoffs and it's like,
and you're a pumpkin.
oh my god, like my point guard is Alfred Payton. In his case, I'm like, oh my god, my point guard is Taylor Horton Tucker. Like, yeah, that's not gonna be great, bro. But like, I don't know. Like, I still think like Utah for sure won their end of the trade. Like, that's done. Like, they definitely did that. I still think you have to wait for Cleveland's end and see how it plays out because like Mitchell is playing at a, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but like he's probably been like a top 10 player this year. Garland's really good. Mobley's the big swing piece. If Mobley develops, then I think we think about this trade differently. I'm still not. We talked about this with Tyrese. We talked about this though. Like I'm still not sure. Like if Mobley even developed Mobley 2-3 years from now, I'm not sure him and Allen is feasible.
It makes no sense. Like one of them needs to shoot, and if they don't shoot, then one of them needs to be traded.
Yeah.
And like they built a team to the point where like they traded picks, but like if they were to trade off their pieces, they can still get value back. And like that's kind of the benefit of these all-in deals, where it's like even if you need to blow up the team, you'll get value back. You will have control of your picks, but you have control of like other teams' picks. But like if Mobley can't shoot, you're basically running out 3 non-shooters, and you're asking Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell to basically take 20+ shots a series. Like what the you look at this team, you're just like Jared Allen has to be our scoring. It's not feasible. Like maybe you get a Karis LeVert game like where he goes like nuclear, but like even still, I don't care about it because like their bench is so piss poor. Like you're playing Ricky Rubio, like Ricky Rubio played 7.5 minutes. Cedi Osman played 5.5, like 5 minutes. Like this is not sustainable. They basically ran a 7-man rotation.
Yeah, Cavs. I'm not worried about them. Come playoff time.
I'm telling you, like you're gonna have one Josh Hart like transition basket, and they're just gonna get punched in the mouth.
I just want to say about this comment because earlier I was kind of like, I didn't mean what I said about it quickly earlier, but there was a moment at the end of the second quarter. I thought Quickly was pulled pretty early in the second quarter. He only played 11 minutes in the second quarter. Tibbs got Grimes back out there, but I thought he could have kept Quickly out there with Grimes. I'm sure he likes hard size with Grimes better. Whatever. Grimes hits his 4-3 of the night, and Quickly literally is like out on the court doing the fan him celebration, like he's trying to fan Quentin Grimes off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I love that moment because it's like you have a guy here who is very much in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. I believe wants it. He wants that recognition. He wants.
Yeah, he definitely does. He tried to act like I don't even think about that. All right, dude.
Yeah. Like, all right, man. We know you want that award.
Like
dog.
you're the church pews going like this. It's okay.
Yeah.
You get a bit. You're
He
fine.
was like, "Glory to God! Shout out Night Trees." I was like, "All right, man. You're trying real hard to act like you don't want this, huh?"
he knows the hype is there for him.
Yeah, no, but I just think that, I just think it was such a representation of how he's always been this team first guy. And like, I think now we have a whole team full of that. Like, I thought that was very symbolic of where we're at for this team. And Fred Katz said it on the pod that Schwinn was talking about. You have a team full of guys who embrace their roles and embrace what's best for the team. That's a really rare thing in this league. And that was a moment that just stood out to me. Like, man, like these guys really, they're just playing for each other and they're playing for their coach and they're just all about winning and all about the team. And it's really refreshing to watch. I don't think there's any personal agendas that are being prioritized over what's best for the team.
I think that's also why it's also why I have a little bit more patience with RJ than a lot of people, because I do think he's like, there was an idea that he had coming into the season of like what I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing.
Definitely.
And then Brunson came in and was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm an all NBA guard now." And it was like, "Oh, well." And Randall was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm better than I was
all
2 years
NBA
ago."
again.
And he was like, "Oh, fuck. Well, changes things."
And then he's like, "Well, quickly, we're in this together." And quickly's like, "No, I'm gonna win Sixth Man of the Year." he just keeps going down, and he's just like Quentin Grimes. And Quentin Grimes is like, "Well, you know what? I would have won Rising Stars MVP if the team didn't sell." And then he just gets to Obi Toppin, and then Obi Toppin is just like jogging.
I dunk really fun, and like I do everything else pretty good too.
He's like, "I won the slam dunk competition. What have you won?"
Oh man, but nah, this team has been like.
And then he hugs Trevor Keels, and he's like, "Trevor Keels, you understand me."
Yeah. No, Trevor Keels definitely he's won a lot of eating competitions, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, poor Trevor Keels. I'm so glad he got to get some minutes tonight.
He's built like an oxtail.
What?
That's a crazy thing that you just
That's
said.
insane.
I'm not wrong.
It's very Jamaican of you to say that.
That's so insane.
No, but like I'll say Keels definitely looks like he dropped weight.
Oh yeah,
from when we
I mean, them reps in the
drafted him.
G League will definitely do.
So
it to you.
I do like because he was such a weird draft pick for them. So I'm curious to see what he's up to next season, what he looks like,
and what he's doing.
That Ruben's better after the coke.
Shout out to the Knicks, man. Jordan Bub asks, "Is Brunson the top 5 point guard in the league right now?"
Yes. I mean, like, let's go through it.
Luka, Steph, Ja,
Dame.
Yes.
Dame.
People depending on who you ask.
Brunson is better than Ja.
He is.
Depending on who you ask, like if you ask people in Atlanta, they'll say Trey, or depending if they hate him.
Fuck
or not.
that. No. All I consider.
Yeah, Trey's been bad.
If you don't have a full head of hair, you can't be in this conversation. Fuck Trey Young.
Dude, everybody laughed at the Knicks for signing Brunson and said the Hawks had the super team. The Hawks are supposed to be doing what the Knicks are doing right now. They have DeAndre Hunter.
They went all in
Their Hawks fan TV spent the whole last Knicks Hawks game where the Knicks ran him out of the gym, laughing at RJ Barrett and talking about how much better DeAndre Hunter is than RJ Barrett. They've got the best young player from that draft. They've got Okongwu. Great
they
young
went on
center.
an Eastern Conference Finals run.
Yeah,
like
all
2 years ago.
success. Fuck out of here with Trey Young. He's got the better team, and his team's 10 games worse. Fuck that.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson's been pretty damn good this year.
I think apparently quickly down to plus 1,500 now.
Oh wow!
So somebody said it the last time. Somebody said I forget who it was on Postgame. Somebody said that Trae Young's defense has been quietly getting better. They were like, oh, he didn't defend that bad against the Knicks game. I went back and rewatched it. No idea what that person was talking about. I forget who said it, but it just like inspired. I was like, I have to rewatch this game because I thought Trae Young was awful. And he's legitimately the worst defender I've ever seen in my entire life. There's no way there's ever been a worse defender than that guy. He combines a lack of ability. Like anytime, if it's anybody but Reggie Bullock who has Trae Young in front of them, he's going to win that matchup every single time. And he combines just being completely physically limited with not giving a single fuck ever. He never cares about defense ever.
There was an article that came out today from somebody on CBS Sports. I think he's an Atlanta guy. They basically said that it's like nobody in the team actually likes him. And look, the player voting for All-Star said a lot. Like he was way, way down there, right? Like he just didn't get votes. You watch how he plays. Like I was watching their game last night for a little bit, and they're up like 7 in the second quarter. They just kind of like they'd come back from like 4 or 5 down. They just pushed out to a lead. He comes down. He fucking takes us 30 for 3. It's like logo 3. Like what? You're not like you. I don't know what goes through his head, but it's like the reason Steph and Dame they're allowed to take that shot is because they shoot like incredibly well on high volume 3. This guy's shooting like 32% from 3 this year. You're not that guy. You're not that good of a shooter. Stop fucking taking these shots. Like Quickly he doesn't take those shots anymore. He just doesn't do it. He like sometimes he gets real excited like he did today in transition and he can't contain himself. The Garden crowd, like the crowd's rocking. He's like, I gotta do it.
Dude, if that 3 went in, the place would have exploded.
They would have. Yeah. You'd have to end the game right then.
Yeah,
have to end the game right then. Just
the user is disconnected. Like,
yeah, but it's look, it's Trae Young is a disaster. I would be looking at like if I'm them, I'm definitely calling up Brooklyn this offseason. I'm like, give us the Suns picks, give us the Suns picks, give us your fucking 2 of your fucking loser ass 3-and-D guys, and let's keep this moving.
You just want McCall on the Hawks so you can hate him more.
He'll be fine. He'll be much better on the Hawks because DeJounte Murray can do his fake wannabe all-star point guard thing. And then Mikal Bridges can do his fake wannabe, all-star swingman thing. And everybody will be like, oh, the Hawks are so fun. And I'll be like, yeah, they're so much fun watching them be like 7 games under 500. Get the fuck out of here.
Let's watch DeJounte Murray try to act like he's John Morant light. For the mean streets of Seattle. Like, who cares, dude?
Is Dante jumping out the window here with this comment?
No.
Can? Yes. I don't think they
Knicks
would.
Can beat Boston in the playoffs. Bill Simmons on his pod, I think, for some reason, said that he was scared of the Knicks in the playoffs. Like,
I guess because I'm telling you, Randall, like our front court is a terrible matchup for them. Especially if Robert Williams still looks like a dilapidated fucking tadpole, or whatever the fuck he looked like in that last game. He's terrible. Like if he's not, if Robert Williams is not physically right, they have no shot against us front court anyway. And Horford just looks like, again, father time finally hit Big Al again.
Until he hits the HGH plug again, right before the playoffs hit.
I think LeBron saw him last year and hoarded that shit up.
My man is gonna go to Germany for personal reasons and come back, and he's gonna be jumping at the gym like he's 32 again.
Here's another one. No.
All right, that's jumping out the window right there.
Milwaukee's
the funny thing is I think regardless of whether Boston got the 1 or the 2 seed, I think Milwaukee will be betting favorites against Boston head to head. And it's like a weird triangle. Like I personally, as a Knicks fan, would feel more confident about beating Boston than beating Milwaukee. But if Boston and Milwaukee played each other, I think Boston's a terrible matchup for Milwaukee, and I would bet on Boston if they were betting underdogs. But I don't think we'd have any chance against Milwaukee. It's just, man, the playoffs are just so about matchups and who can exploit what. And I just don't the Celtics are so smart, but we don't have that type of thing. The only thing that the Celtics could look to exploit from us, there are 2 things. They could look to attack Brunson defensively, And they tried that last game. They were posting up Marcus Smart. Like, that was their big play. Their big play to attack Jalen Brunson was to have Marcus Smart shoot a bunch of 10-footers. Okay. Yeah, we'll
Like,
take
I'll
that.
take
Like,
that. I will take that all day.
Good luck. And the other thing is to go really small, like Tatum, Brown, Grant Williams, Brogdon, and Derek White or something, and Smart, excuse me. And just hope to God that like they get positive 3-point shooting variance and Mitch can't take advantage of the lack of size. Those are their only two paths to like super exploiting the matchup. The Bucks actually, with what they're able to do with Giannis, they've somehow just figured out the whole building a wall thing. I honestly think that, like, in a weird way, they should be more afraid of playing the Knicks than the Bucks. Like, I know that sounds crazy, and I'm not saying we're better than the Bucks. I think we would get killed by the Bucks.
It's just about matchups.
It's just about matchups, and I just don't think we're a good matchup for the Celtics.
How's Boston done it
for a lot of teams?
Hasn't Boston played Milwaukee well again this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do think they figured something out there. Although Horford not being like – he looks way worse than he did last year. I think that is a big deal. Also, Grant Williams, DNP CD.
Oh, wow.
Nick.
You realize he stinks.
Yeah.
That's not good for other teams.
Did you say he's a Nick?
Nick.
I said they realize he stinks, which is not good for other teams.
I said Nick.
You said he's a Nick?
He's a Nick.
How much are they paying him? Are they paying him over 20? Are they paying him $20 million?
That's what he wants.
That MLE is going to hit different for Grant Williams. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I thought he already signed an extension.
No, he did. He did.
No, he didn't get extended. So
he bet on himself.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
It's a good bet. It's really paying off.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great question. Okay. So this is a great question by Jordan Bubb here, because we were kind of discussing this before we got on, me, Jeff, and Tyrese. Do you think Knicks beat Miami on Friday?
Yes.
I said yes. I mean, like, they lost to a 76ers team without Joel Embiid today. They're also
that's why.
They're also like relying on Kevin Love for important minutes. When you get someone off the buyout market and you're immediately thrusting them into an important role on your team, that's kind of a cause of concern. Most of the time when you get guys off the buyout market, it's like you're trying to get like extra depth, like an 8th or 9th man or something of the sort, or like just like some insurance, some injury insurance. But like the fact that they got Kevin Love off the buyout market and like the Cavs obviously shelved him for obvious reasons, and now he's a staple of the Miami Heat rotation, is just cause for concern if you're a Miami Heat fan, which we are not. And like also they just like relying on Gabe Vincent and like Victor Oladipo and Cody Zeller to like give them like actual like somewhat stable production on a nightly basis. So like I am just not moved by that. And I've seen this Knicks team with Emmanuel Quickly, Jericho Sims, Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride walk into Miami and absolutely beat the brakes off of them in the second half. And
the Knicks are better. They're more talented. Will they win Friday?
They should.
They should. I mean, in a lot of ways, but like, I could see the Heat, leveling up for a game. Spoelstra comes up with a certain game plan that fucks things up. Like that can happen. But I'll say if the Knicks go in there and this is all you have to do to beat Miami: score 110 points. Score 110 points. They're not going to beat you because they can't score. They're like, It's just Butler, Adebayo, and Hero, and that's it. Like nobody else on that team can do shit.
And Hero's been kind of underwhelming too. 4-15 today, awful game.
Yeah, he's had a bad stretch recently. I feel like he usually shoots well against us, but yeah, he's had a bad stretch recently.
Also,
by diverse Knicks, typical.
But yeah, like I don't know. I just this is just one of those matchups I could see the Knicks losing. They've won 7 in a row. Like it happens, right? You fucking drop a game that you probably shouldn't, whatever. But last time we beat them at the Garden without Brunson. Did Mitch? I don't think Mitch played that game either.
Mitch didn't play.
So. Yeah, so we beat them 106-104. We probably should have. It should have never gotten to the point it did at the end of that game, but we still won. And I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if you're just looking at it by the numbers, like, it should be like the Knicks should handle their business.
should
And
watch it.
if they do, like, I mean, not only does it put the Knicks 11 games over 500, but you already secure the fact that you, at worst, you would be
The 6th seed.
yeah, and not just like at worst, you'd be head to head, same record against Miami because you still play them 2 more times after Friday. So even if you lose those, it's just 2-2.
Mhm.
You're already 2-2 against Brooklyn. So like the next advantage is division record. They probably have a better division record than us. But anyway, the point being is like it's nice to just have that in the bag, right? And then after that, if you just, I mean, if you beat them one more time, then that's huge. So this game feels big for a lot of reasons, but that would be a very nice little bonus for us. And RJ does play well against Miami because they kind of like don't have anybody to defend him, which is weird.
I gotta say also, like Gabe Vincent is just, there are these teams that if I have to sit and watch another national TV game where the crew just sits and talks about, oh, these great young guys these other teams have, while just ignoring the Knicks young guys, we've been dealing with this shit for 2 years. Like there was a national TV game where it's like, oh, Gabe Vincent is one of the rising stars in the league. None of these motherfuckers said a word about Emmanuel Quickly ever. Like, and it's just like the most annoying thing in the world to me. You guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys remember the pinnacle of this, the Warriors game earlier this year, where we were just literally up by 30, and Reggie Miller was talking about Moody and Wiseman, and like this, oh my god, like it's just the most annoying thing in the world.
Terry, how you feel?
I feel
Right.
that it's the fucking, like, you think Gabe Vincent, like half their team is undrafted dudes and guys they picked off the street from Jeff's rec game. Like, I don't care about this team. Like, I'm sorry, Victor Oladipo with his pork loin tendon, like that he calls a quad, like Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, who just wants to be JJ Redick with the podcast and not with the shot. Like, I don't care about this team. Udonis Haslam is somehow going to be having nightmares about the Knicks beating his head in. Jimmy Butler doesn't even want to play games anymore. Like, the guy's taking 8 shots. Like, that team just looks broken. Jimmy Butler looks like he's on the way out. Like, I don't.
Gabe Vincent's like Gabe Vincent's fine, but it's like they've got a lot of guys being asked to do too much because they have no way of adding talent. That's the position they're in.
They saw Gabe Vincent play for Nigeria, and they were like, "Yeah, that's him." Like, no, dude. Like, this is just, it's Gabe fucking Vincent. I'm sorry.
But this is also like, this is why the Knicks are so dangerous in the playoffs. Like, okay, so regardless of how they're playing right at this moment or even on this season, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo are good players. The Knicks have answers for all 3 players, like simultaneously. Like, it's not like, oh, like who do we put Grimes on? Like, they have Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickly. They have Mitchell Robinson.
They have Randall. They
have Randall is one of, like, literally his best defensive skill is guarding in isolation. Like, and like,
Butler got hurt. Oh, Butler got hurt.
That's tough.
Well,
oh wow, they're gonna be starting Victor Oladipo in the game against Julius Randle. Oh, that's gonna be.
All right. Well, the conversation shifts a little bit, but my point remains the same. I don't think it's delusional to say that there isn't a matchup aside from like Giannis / Embiid that the Knicks don't have multiple options to throw at that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many teams in the league can say that.
I mean, the Knicks, again, this is like going back to that podcast, the Knicks Film School one, but like they're talking about it. I mean, I've thought this too, but like if your weakest player in your rotation is RJ Barrett, which that basically is how it is right now, you're probably really good. Like, that's just it. And whatever you want to say about RJ, like, as long as if he's locked in defensively, more or less, that he's been since, like, other than the second half of this game, which, like, I don't care because the entire team was just checked out on defense in the second half of this game. Like, he's been pretty locked in since the All-Star break. That's all you need, because what you don't want are easy guys that teams can mismatch hunt or pick out weaknesses on. And the Knicks should have plenty of options that avoid that. Like Hartenstein, I could see maybe getting picked on in a playoff series, especially because he's foul prone. Obi, defensively, yeah. Other than that, like nobody else in the rotation scares me of like, oh my god, they're gonna get like hunted and destroyed in the playoffs. Like I'm just not that worried about that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like even with guys like Hart and Obi, they've shown like significant stretches of like being able to just like be capable defenders on the court and like not be so much of a detriment.
I mean,
And like they'll also
Obi's gonna play like 8 minutes a game, so it
yeah,
doesn't really matter anyway.
and Hartenstein will play a lot of his minutes with IQ and Hart, and Randall, where his defense won't be that like it won't be that highlighted. So I think they'll be able to like weather the storm of those guys. But yeah.
Do y'all think that Tibbs starts even more so correlating or matching RJ's minutes with Mitch? It's just so clear what Mitch does for RJ. Like Mitch helps RJ more than any other player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's the only guy that had like Sims can jump very high, but he's just not the same lob threat that Mitch is. Yep. It's just not the same.
He doesn't have the timing. He doesn't have like the catching ability that that Mitch has. But yeah,
100%. He doesn't have the crazy Inspector Gadget arms, like that can. And the thing is that RJ's already adept at getting to spots that he wants, but he still doesn't have great touch. He doesn't have good floater game at all. And so when you have that Mitch lob threat that the big has to respect, all of a sudden RJ's layups are getting easier. All the shots RJ is shooting around the basket are getting easier. And so, like, I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. I don't have the data up right now, but I'd be shocked if RJ's numbers with and without Mitch aren't just drastically different. And I think there's a lot of merit to sort of pairing the two of them together.
Yep, I agree. All right.
Good chat.
I think we'll close things off with this comment tonight. ZMP323. I think we can all say that we can't wait to watch IQ close some playoff games. That is going to be magical and special.
Yes, it will.
Mm-hmm.
I just need him to accept that he's not getting foul calls anymore, because look, he's getting one of the roughest whistles. I mean, I watched a ton of NBA. He's not getting any foul calls anymore. None. They're done with falling for his tricks. I don't know if it's because they fall for all of Brunson's tricks. Like, and they're like, okay, Knicks, we can only give you so many foul calls. But
maybe he needs to change his last name to Spencer Dinwiddie and just jump into people.
And just complain after every no call until you bear the refs down. It's so crazy. He's in their ear every single thing. But the thing is that once, especially in the playoffs, when the whistles go down, like those shots he's taking, if you take the whistle out of the equation, they're not good shots, because he's literally just like creating contact and then forcing up a shot because he's expecting the call. So I mean, I'm not being overly critical because he's been amazing recently, but like these in the playoffs, all the margins matter, and I need him to play like he's not going to get any whistles, because he'll just be even better with a slightly better profile.
Yeah, all of them need to play like that, because you're just not going to get the same whistle anyway. So.
Oh yeah, playoffs is a different beast. I mean, I think Brunson will probably still get maybe like those calls, maybe just because like the star respect, and maybe Randall to a certain degree as well. But the rest of them just have to accept it and just hoop, because you're not going to get that shit.
100%.
All right. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. At one point, we had 47 viewers concurrently. So that's a lot for us. Shout out to everyone that tuned in, that stayed up late with us. It is now 12 o'clock. It is now Thursday morning, and I have to get ready for work soon. I will be up at 5 a.m. to get ready for work. But yeah, shout out to everyone that tuned in. Check out everything Strickland related in the description. We have links to the site, The merch store, we have dropped some new merch recently. Definitely check that out. We got new sweats, new sweaters, new tees. We got some remixes of some older stuff. So, definitely go over there and check that out. Another great way to support us. And you'll look great in the Strickland merch. You know, just something new to add to your closet as we head into the springtime. So definitely check that out. We got links to the Patreon, another great way to support us. That gives you access to the Discord. And there are so many other tiers as well. So definitely check that out. And we got links to the Twitter. We are on Twitter, as you all probably know, or if you don't, now you do. So definitely follow us there if you're not already. We're also on Instagram at thestrict.land, another great way to consume Knicks Strickland content. So if you are on Instagram and you are not following us, definitely give us a follow. Leave a like and subscribe if you are still here. We are on our way to 1K subs. All that you do helps us with the YouTube algorithm and whatnot. I don't understand the YouTube algorithm, but I do understand leaving a like and subscribing will help us out a ton. So yeah, we will be back on Friday evening after the Knicks hopefully secure their 8th straight win versus the Miami Heat and move their way closer to the 4th seed. Hope everyone has a great Thursday. And we will see you guys on Friday. Peace out.